gonna bump your head.
All right. God, mother. It popped out again. All right, too. Black is here. Okay. Listen, before I forget, I need to make this video talking about. First of all, I just found out a few months ago that I don't know what year it is, but the Impala, the front wheel drive Impala SS, that came with the 5.3 V8. I assume, for some reason, I assume it came with the 4T80. Turns out it came with the 4T60. Okay, a lot of people say online that GM shouldn't have did that. That engine had too much torque for the 4T60. They said they should have used the 4T80. I'm here to tell you, you know how I never agree with what everybody else say? I always seem to know a little bit more than everybody else. Guys, check this out. The 4T60 can handle the torque from that 5.3. But there's something you have to do to make that transmission last. And it's real simple. It's something you're supposed to do. I think you're supposed to do anyway. I haven't read the owner's manual on the Impala SS. I don't know, does it tell you to change transmission fluid or not? I don't know when it tells you to change the transmission fluid. But I know this from experience. A 4T60 is a good transmission, but you have to drop the pan and change the filter, okay? You know how I feel about that flushing stuff. Don't worry about the flush. Don't worry about the little bit of transmission fluid that's left inside the transmission. And I'm gonna tell you something. I've dropped the pan on a 4T60E. About 6 or 7 quarts come out. That crap about, half the transmission fluid is still inside the transmission is 100% bullcrap, okay? There is about maybe 1 or 2 quarts of transmission fluid in the torque converter. The transmission itself is damn near empty when you drop that pan, okay? But if you have an SS Impala, or I think the Monte Carlo came with it also, 4T60. If you have a 4T60, don't matter what you got. If you have a 4T60 with a 3.8, the 5.3, or whatever else came with it, drop your pan and change the filter, okay? If you want your transmission to last, if you don't care, keep going, because eventually the filter is going to stop up. Those transmissions are pretty good. They're pretty good transmissions, but you have to drop the pan and change the filter. Now, I'm going to go back old school on you guys, because I've been wanting to say this, okay? Some years ago, when the Ford Taurus came out, they were having problems with those transmissions. They only went about 80, 90,000 miles before they stopped pulling. Guess what? People never dropped the pan and changed the filter. That Ford transmission, if I remember correctly, has more clutches than the 4T60. And you know, Ford transmissions always tend to slip a little bit more than GM transmissions. So they tend to create a little more clutch material than GM transmission. Also, I heard that Ford filters were a little more restrictive. Not saying it was a bad thing, not saying it was restricting horsepower, but they were more sensitive to dirt. In other words, they clogged up quicker than the GM transmission. So a lot of them Ford Taurus transmission would have lasted if people had dropped the pan and changed the filter. But most people didn't. But I had to put this out there about the SS Impala. So now for you guys to say, well, Black, you never had an SS Impala, so how do you know? I had a 2002 Chevy Venture with a 4T60. A friend of mine had a like a 90 some, I think it was a 98, what do you call it, an Oldsmobile something with that same transmission. Few other people I knew had that same transmission. Everyone that went out, the people that, most people don't drop the pan, change the filter. They just drive them and drive them and drive them. And then when the transmission starts slipping, they want, I don't know why my transmission is slipping. When the last time you dropped the pan, change the filter? My butt. This is Black. Y'all have a good day. I ain't got nothing else to say on that subject. Bye.